From the political branches of government to the highest court of the land, the debate on the pork barrel scam reaches the Supreme Court as it hears oral arguments on the constitutionality of the so-called congressional and presidential pork. Today, petitioners will try to convince the court that the Priority Development Assistance Fund or PDAF violates the principles of checks and balances, separation of powers, and accountability in the Constitution. They want the court to reverse its previous rulings upholding the legality of the PDAF. But the government is expected to argue that the problem is not legality, but implementation, and therefore what's required is a political solution. But pork barrel critics disagree.
There are legal issues which the court can rule on. For one, PDAF has a law to implement it. It's the General Appropriations Act. So, the palace can or the executive cannot say that Supreme Court must have its hands off of this issue. However, as I said, ultimately, regardless of the ruling of the Supreme Court, it is a political question. No? The question is more: do we want a society where politics runs through pork or not? And the overwhelming call of the people now is for the abolition of the pork barrel system.
What's at stake in this case? If the Supreme Court decides to intervene and declare the PDAF unconstitutional, the government says it will limit and preempt the reforms the Aquino administration is undertaking. But the petitioners argue that only the court can stop a decades-old practice that led to patronage politics and the loss of billions of pesos in taxpayers' money. Both sides argue for greater transparency and accountability, but whose argument holds more weight? Ayee Macaraig, Rappler.